We just had an event in San Diego, and I believe that if you're someone who's looking to get connected, putting an event together, this is kind of a key lesson. People are starving for in-person connection. Technology is great and it's not going anywhere, but so are we as human individuals. So anytime you can bring people together on site, I know my mastermind has been begging me for me to do more events, and we had one, people flew in all over. There's definitely some planning involved when you're going to put an event together, but I would say if you're going to start off low hanging fruit, just put a meetup together. Meetup. The relationships that I've fostered from meetups have been a game changer, or that I've hosted myself.
Who's this? Oh, you're an entrepreneur? Oh, you're a real estate investor? Oh, you're trying to learn from those who did it? Well, come into the lab then. Put your white coat on, gloves on, notepad, and let's build, y'all.
Experiment Nation! If you're listening to this, we are just on the heels of kicking off Q3 of 2025. And if you're anything like me, I'm all about collecting receipts, collecting lessons, and being better in the lab. So with that, I want to start off with some key lessons learned from the previous quarter, and then give you some highlights and then some personal insight that hopefully I've taken personally that hopefully you can also benefit from. So with that said, I'm going to keep this super punchy just because that's how the season's been. It's been super jam packed with execution, and so I want to give you straight heat so that you can take it into Q3 in your lab for, again, more exquisite, efficient experiments. And again, I got to thank you. If you're rocking with me and you've been rocking with me for a long time and you still haven't left a review, please make sure you do that. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, go to Apple, go to Spotify, and please take a second to just drop a review. It means the whole world. If you've been rocking with me, if one of the insights I've been sharing with you, whether it's online or an episode or on YouTube, has meant something for you and it's turned into a result, feel free to also drop that in the comments. I do read them and I really appreciate it, and it goes a long way. And guys, I'm going to be doing this forever and ever. Yes, forever. Which means that the more reviews we get, so I think it's always important to let know on the other side what the input is. The more reviews we get, the more shows gets listened, the more quality people I can bring to you, and everybody wins. So please let me review. With that said, let's go right into it. So what do we got? I'm going to kick off for events because we just had an event in San Diego, and I believe that if you're someone who's looking to get connected, putting an event together, again, this is kind of a key lesson. People are starving for in-person connection. Technology is great and it's not going anywhere, but so are we as human individuals. So anytime you can bring people together on site, I know my mastermind has been begging me for me to do more events, and we had one, people flew in all over. And there's definitely some planning involved when you're going to put an event together, but I would say if you're going to start off low hanging fruit, just put a meetup together. Meetup. The relationships that I've fostered from meetups have been a game changer, or that I've hosted myself. You can leverage a tool like Bigger Pockets. I haven't been on there for a while, but I know when I first started, that's where I got in a lot of traction because there's already people raising their hands on, hey, I want to collaborate and meet with other investors. So please, Zoom is great. YouTube is great. In person is even better. And don't let technology fool you. People are starving for in-person interaction. So that's one of the lessons. Lesson number 2. I'm going to get a little bit tactical here. Let's go and jump into some HELOCs. I found out that you can actually get a HELOC on a secondary home. How do I know? Because I'm in the process of doing it, which is really cool because, sometimes we don't know what's really privy to us. And so make sure that if you're going to do that, you want to make sure you're telling the loan officer what you're actually looking for. If you say investment property, they're going to give you investment property terms. If you're looking for a HELOC, they're going to factor in your primary or secondary home as well. and even have the conversation. Be like, "Yeah, Airbnb it a couple of times. Is there anything else you need to know?" What I did find out from them is they just want to make sure there's no one on the insurance policy as a secondary person. Like typically, management companies will ask for that. That should be able to clear you and allow you to tap into some of that equity. That's lesson number 2. Lesson number 3. Be conservative in your appraisals. One of my appraisals, good news is money was baked into the work that we added, but the appraisal came a little low. But don't ever take no for an answer. This is a pending experiment. If someone says no, appeal it, right? And going through the process, a big thing that my mentor says is become the person that's willing to do the thing to have the thing. It may not happen right away. Sometimes no is no for now, but not forever. So go back, appeal it, understand how things work, understand why it didn't work out, and that again should get the job done. And if it does, remember you're either learning a lesson or there is no losses. A loss is a lesson, and a lesson sets you up better for success for your next experiment. Remember, it's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. So just because you get a false start or you don't finish the race the way you wanted, guess you can do another one, right? So stay the course, and that's lesson number 3. Be conservative in your appraisals, and if it doesn't work out, appeal it and reevaluate, make a case for yourself. That's the best thing you can do, right? So that's lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, this is a big one. For what it's worth, I actually just made an entire YouTube video on this. So make sure, again, check out Midterm Rental Insurance Experiments, Ruben Kanya. Look me up on YouTube, subscribe, because that's where I drop all the gems for free 99. Okay. I got tons of videos, 1,000 plus, just for you as the people, right? If you're listening to this, I got you. I recently just recorded a video on this. It's so important as we're getting payouts from these temporary housing providers, insurance companies, or even Airbnb payouts that it's going to the right bank. Let me explain. We were using Relay Financial, which is phenomenal. We're still going to use it for the back end, but on the front end, we just restructured so that we're going to have the account, the payouts hitting an institution that it's that established. Now, what does that mean? That's not a dig at Relay. It just means that as we were looking to get some creative financing from these companies who are able to offer financing based on the incoming revenue that your business is doing, they weren't really so hot on some of these fintech companies like a Relay Financial, and they explained that the underwriters are just, guess what, old school. So if you're an underwriter and you're old school, man, get with the program. If you're listening to this, and talk to your team, because we got some really nice fintech companies that have come up that are FDIC backed, but the underwriters don't see it that way. And so I'm all about never bite the hand that feeds you. Play the game by their rules. So therefore, we shifted for our front end. That means all payouts go to our Chase account. We keep the majority of the reserves there, and then we're gonna still leverage Relay for the operation and operations account and all that stuff, because we want to be able to get credit and validation for all the work and bookings that you're getting. Make sure it's not hitting your personal, make sure it's hitting your business account. So you build that business account, which then business credibility, business background, business reserves, so that you can get business credit, which opens up doors for, again, a sub-2 deal, hiring, scaling, growth, whatever it is you're trying to do. I'd rather have the option than not have it. Lesson number 5. This is on the temporary housing side. Relocation companies. You gotta, when I first started this, it's ongoing experiment. As I'm starting to get more insider information, you really want to make sure you're baking in your fees. And when you bake in your fees, you really want to make sure that basically one-time fees are better than recurring fees. Experiment Nation, you've heard me talk about how multiple investors across the nation are landing these lucrative midterm rental insurance contracts by making these small tweaks on the branding and marketing side. Especially if you're an existing short-term rental operator, there is a quick and easy shift that you can make with the right guide in place. And because we've launched a 2-day boot camp that not everyone could attend in real time, I've put together a recording where you can get all the materials and all the guides to focus on rebranding either your short-term rental business or your current midterm rental business, so that you can actually have the insurance companies reach out to you. And then day two is if you want to actually play offense, how you can reach out to them by listing on the right platforms, etc. If you're looking to get this MTR bootcamp so that you can start optimizing and you can start receiving these lucrative contracts that again provide less headaches, less turnovers, unlike the Airbnb space, you can start receiving inquiries today by having the right guide in place. So please go to experimentrealestate.com/MTR bootcamp or click the link in the bio to make sure you get your hands on the midterm rental insurance bootcamp to fast track your way into landing these lucrative insurance contracts the exact same ways multiple investors have taken advantage of this unknown and untapped niche within the midterm rental umbrella. Right, one-time fees are better than recurring fees. So if you have one-time fees up front, service fee, admin fee, application fee, etc., you can actually make some good margins on those. But it's better that you have those as one time, separate those as one time, rather than the ones that, rather than baking it into your monthly cost. Because if you bake it into your monthly cost, it might increase the amount of again monthly expense, which comes, again, fees come from a different bucket. So that's just something to know, that when you're doing your proposals, that you stay very tight on having your, if you're gonna, they'd rather have a larger fee up front than divided over time over a couple months, because guess what, they always extend, which then will then extend the budget, and they want to have control of that. They can control one-time fees, but they may have less control because work might take longer if you bake it into the monthly rent. So that's just a thought for those of you who are doing, again, if you're watching this, we're big on working with insurance companies, relocation companies, and sending out proposals. That's a big key lesson learned right there, for sure. Lesson number 6. I know we're talking about AI, and there's a big thing about, oh, we're going to get replaced by AI. False. You are going to be replaced by a human being that leverages AI. If you're not leveraging AI for proposals, situation, creating bots for yourself, just really, I know I just signed up for a course on AI because you don't want to get left behind here. It's a lever to pull. I'm all big on levers. When I think about it, I was having this conversation with one of my best friends, and we are talking about how it's really a game of levers, right? If you can pull levers, if you understand where the levers are being played in the game, then that's what gives you the advantage. So you really want to make sure that you're leveraging on a lever that someone else, your competition, is going to use it and just smoke you, right? And so you want to make sure you're just testing it, using it as a guide, speaking to it, asking for blind spots. And one of the best questions I think you can ask it is, in the way I'm seeing this, what are some blind spots that I'm not thinking of, based on the situation I gave you, whether it's a document you want to upload or a situation you want to give some background to. Just have the AI be used as a support, not just as a sole, let me send AI and whatever AI tells me, I'm not going to validate it. Not that. That's not a good idea. But leveraging it is like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about it this way. What's another way I can look at this situation? What's another way I can approach this offer? Another thing, and this is tied to this lesson, just upload books to, like, create a bot. You can go to my GPTs and create a GPT and a specific book where you love the framework, and say, and make the bot follow a specific framework, so that when you ask questions over time on a very specific thing, you now have a very specific consultant that applies the principle from your favorite author. Like, that's huge. That alone should just do it for this quarter. My gosh, if you can implement all that, my goodness, game will change. All And then I'm going to shift into the insight and then some highlights, because we'll highlight ourselves last. But some, actually, I'll make this, I'll throw it into the tip bucket. Lesson number 7: become very good at storytelling. Everything is about telling a story. If you think about it, you had to sell yourself to your spouse, to your partners, your business partner, to an offer. You always have to sell yourself. And how do you sell yourself? By telling a good story. So just, if you focus on storytelling with all the platforms that we have, and you're telling a story, and every story is unique, including yours. Yours is very unique. So tell that story. That's going to do wonders for you. And so one of the things I'm focused that communication. How can I be a better communicator? How can I take what I'm learning in my day-to-day business and bring it to you so that it changes your life? That's the mission that I'm on. And if you would commit to that mission as well with whatever it is that you're doing with your team, tell better stories, be a better communicator. That will go a long way. And how you do that is by becoming a great listener and understanding what people need, and then also understanding how to actually storytell, which there's a lot of books on that. Actually, do I have a book on this? Let me actually think. I think I may have. If you're interested in this, is more a little bit more on the sales and marketing side, but let me see what I can do here, because I just came back from the content and cash flow conference, and this is again more with folks who have offers and stuff. Hook Point is a good book that I actually uh, added to my um, I added it to my one of my bots. And then there's The Guide to Going Viral by Brendan Kane, for those of you who want to get into content. And then $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozy. I mean, just these are just some things I'm using along the way. Love just different brains and frameworks. Okay, cool. So I give you 7 lessons in 1 quarter. Amazing. Hope you take it. Remember, depth goes a long way. All right. So real quick, these are just some insights I want to share with you. I got about 3 of them. We'll keep it punchy. So it'll be 7 lessons and 3 insights. Get you 10 gems for the quarter. Be kinder to yourself. Being kinder to yourself means that your future self, which is you today, figured it out. And along the way, if you were miserable and stressed, you just took away from the present. So you want to make sure that when you're going through a situation, everything is figure outable. How do I know? I'm literally going through situations right now where I'm like, oh, this is so stressful. But make sure that you listen. Number 2 here. So be kinder to yourself, because you're gonna get there, and you get there by having faith and belief, and that's what confidence is, right? Confidence is knowing that you'll be able to figure it out. That's literally, I just read a quote and I posted it literally today around this, and I thought it was fascinating, from this gentleman, Lewis House's podcast. He says a lot of successful people assert themselves into the world with high agency. And asserting yourself means being confident, and having the confidence is believing in the ability that you will figure it out, because you will. Everything is figure outable. There is not one person on this earth that's facing the problem that you had that didn't, again, go through what you went through and perhaps even overcame. And if they didn't, there's a lesson there learned so that they can overcome the next thing. Remember, lessons, right? No losses, lessons only, right? Number 2, again, number 2 out of the highlights, right? Because I gave you 7 lessons, 2 insights, not highlights, 2 insights. Number 2 insight is compress the time of a bad event, right? So you might think that, there can be 3 different scenarios, right? There's you who's listening, version A, you who's listening, version B, and you who's listening, version C. Version A has an encounter, and I don't want to label that encounter because it's all framework. Was it a bad encounter, or is there a lesson there, and it was actually good in the bad, right? But let's say there's an encounter, and version A hangs on to that encounter for 6 months. It's just lingering. I can't believe this happened. Can't believe this happened. Can't believe this happened. Then version B said deals with it for the week. No, that was a rough week. Okay, great. Let's overcome. And then there's version C that says that was a bad day, and they overcome. Same, again, input, different output, right? Because of the different framework. So if you can start to compress the amount of time things happen again for you, but things that occur, if you think our brain is a little bit crazy, where it just continues to think about the same thoughts, same worries, same concerns over time. And if you can compress that, easier said than done. Now, when I say that, easier said than done, that's why we do this. Half of this is mental and mindset work. But if you can compress the amount of time that you are spending on things that don't serve you, it will then expand the amount of time of the things that do serve you, right? So flip it on its head. If you had a really good day at the gym, let that expand into I had a really good day today at the gym, and therefore that made my week, maybe even my month, and even maybe my quarter. And now that's just a small example, right? You don't want to be like, hey, I ate well today and then eat like crap for the rest of the month today, but I ate well today like 30 days ago, or you know what I mean? Like, but what you're doing is you're just flipping it on its head. Just like something can happen once, how does it impact you for the rest of the time? How much timeshare are you giving that? How much life are you giving to that thought? And are you giving life to negative thoughts? More life than you are giving to positive thoughts. Think about that and please start compressing. You're allowed to have one bad day. And maybe if you get really good, one bad hour. Think about that and go back to the lab, reflect, and implement. Insight number 3. Okay. Everything is figure outable. It was a tough quarter, right? A lot of personal stuff has happened, a lot of things out of my control. Maybe I'll share a little bit more over time as things go, right? Things not going your way on real estate, right? That one refinance hasn't worked out yet, but it's still in the process, right? Um, but everything is figure outable. And if you kind of just compress that, oh, this happened, it didn't work out the way, great. Can you quickly shift into, okay, great, how do we figure this problem out, and who can help, who, not how? And that's when you start thinking about different things, right? That's actually how the private money thing happened, where like, okay, who can help? Oh, you can get a HELOC on a second home. Oh, didn't know that. Like, there's the answers are out there, but will you reframe your mindset so that you actually can actually see those answers versus not being able to see them because you're operating with the wrong framework? If you can do those things, my goodness, your Q3 is going to blow up. Um, some highlights personally for us, because again, I think we don't get in the habit of celebrating ourselves. Not me. Let's celebrate ourselves, y'all. So to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Recently went nationwide with Invested Escapes, meaning we're serving families nationwide. If you want to be part of our database, make sure you go to investedescapes.com/. Oh, I want to make sure I tell you the right thing. Join, right? So I want to make sure that that's the right thing, because we are collaborating with homeowners and serving people lucrative deals. When we can't have the inventory, we go out there and partner with other homeowners. So if you're listening to the podcast, you want to be a partner, make sure you go to investigapes.com/. Join, and we will have your property in our database because we're constantly serving and doing tenant placement nationwide, which is I'm super excited about. We're growing the team, and that's been big. Um, the boot camps have been a win, people getting major wins. So please stay in tune whether you're listening to this for the next challenge. That's experimentrealestate.com/challenge. I will announce the new dates on that. I'll probably have an exclusive one that I will do for an exclusive group coming up. So you'll have a specific one there. But this is the kind of stuff that will change the game. And so I really encourage you to join the challenge. You'll see the next date posted. I said I wasn't going to do one for a long time, but I'm probably going to do one in again Q3. That's what I'm going to do. So it was the last one of the last quarter, but I'll probably do one in Q3. Depending when you're listening to this, you might see it up again later, but just go to that page. It will always be a live landing page. You'll see the latest and greatest one. That's been working. The San Diego event was amazing. I highly encourage you to get in rooms where the people are at. And one of the best things you can do is listen to what people need and introduce them to each other. Because there is something special about introducing people to each other and serving them and understanding their needs and being a super connector. I think that could have been a tip right there. But that's what I try to do. And that's one. Yeah, that's that. Another win was getting our public adjuster. Shout out to Andy G. Gersak into our mastermind, which is going to serve for those of you who are looking to join our mastermind. We're just getting more value, getting more insights, getting more actionable steps. The MTR Accelerator rolled that out for folks who need help implementing and executing. So if that's you, make sure you join. You go to experimentrealestate.com. And what is this going to be here? I don't even know where I'm sending you to. and experimentrealestate.com/connect. That is connect, CONNECT. Connect with me, and you'll find out, depending on where you're on your journey, what makes the next sense for you. There's 3 different tiers there. Proud to have put that up there because, again, you get all this information, and you don't know what to do next. And so this is one where it gives you, hey, if this is where you are, you should do this. If this is where you are, you should do tier 2. If you're ready for like mentorship, you're ready to roll and take action, then you should do tier 3. With that said, my goodness, celebrating success is always fun. But for me, success is progress. Success is not perfect. Success just means that we know where the compass is pointed and we're headed in that direction. There's going to be some bumps on the road, but we're always going to learn a lesson along the way, not a loss. And we're always going to think of who, not how, and understand and have faith that everything is figure outable. With that, if you implement the 7 lessons, if you implement the 3 insights, so 10 in total, and you just go out there and live your life in curiosity, in abundance, in belief, my goodness, the world is yours. The world will be yours because the world is yours. And life is not happening to you, it's what you're doing that is happening in your contribution to this amazing universe and planet. With that said, have a rich and righteous quarter, conquer, seize the day, win the week, and don't let an obstacle or a challenge last more than an hour. That is my challenge for you. Win every single hour. If you lose one, that's a bad hour, not a bad day, but a great day and a great week and a good month and even better quarter to the top. Experimentation, I believe there are 2 critical components that will help you achieve your goals very quickly and succeed. Number 1, it's information like this that you received on a show, in an episode, and content that you can find on my YouTube channel or anybody's channel. And then there's a community. And the way we've been able to expedite our process, the way people in our community, people that we consult, mastermind members, whoever, they get the information on an episode like this, but then they also have a support, whether it's me guiding them or being guided through a community. There is an opportunity for you listening to be able to expedite your process or even expedite your results that you're seeking by being part of the community. If that is what you're interested in, we at Experiment Nation happen to have a community devoted to helping maximize your occupancy and your profitability altogether, regardless of which market that you are in. And for that reason, you have an opportunity where you can go to experimentrealestate.com/submit if you're looking to work in an environment that can help you prosper faster. Call out any areas that you might not be familiar in, especially the blind spots. That's where a guide comes in hand, and I would be a pleasure and honor to be your guide. But in order to make sure you're a good fit, make sure you go to experimentrealestate.com/submit so that my team can go ahead and take it and see if you're a good fit to join the mastermind and the multiple programs that we have. In addition to that, I'm also now a YouTube partner, which means that I want to give you more access to information, more access to Q&As, more access to the questions that actually come out of our mastermind to help people expedite the process. We've seen people get anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 to even $7,000 a month net on just one door by applying the strategies that we use by working with corporations and furnished accommodation in a very strategic way. So if you're interested, make sure you also subscribe, because I'm going to have different tiers that's on YouTube now that we've become YouTube partner. Continue to be the bridge to your success in your lab, and your lab means your life, your goals, or wherever you're trying to head. So make sure you also hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/real estate experiment. We'll be there. You can also look us up at Midterm Rental Insurance Experiment. We will be there. Make sure you hit the subscribe, because that's when you'll know the tiers that are available to you that make sense for you in your marketplace for your results. Remember, you're only one experiment away. Let's build. And for YouTube, if you got value from this video, make sure you check out From SDRs to Micro Resorts, Building Vision, Partnerships, and Purpose with Brian Hatcher and the one and only Aaron Appleton.